All right, here we go.
And we're back.
Thumbs up when your team is ready. Round one of SOAS versus Legacy is live on the phone.
We have SOAS versus Legacy. We're live at the August event of the 2019 Los Angeles SpeedQB season. Streaming live to you from Project N1 in El Monte, California, home of SpeedQB. For those of you just tuning back in, thank you for coming back. Apologize for the technical difficulties earlier.
Shout out Ren, he let us know. Shout out Ren.
Shout out to Ren Flipsoft for letting us know. We had to come back and make sure that this stream was listed as public. So as you guys can see, the back barriers for the August event in Los Angeles have been switched over to much smaller barriers. This is to provide a challenge for the back players to not have a comfortable position to play out of. Even though you're trading a large amount of cover, what that does is it provides you multiple angles to shoot out of from the back barrier, technically giving you more angles to protect your front players from. So what we did is that we swapped out these two large barriers that are typically in the back corners, and we pushed them upfield and took these Vs and pushed them back to the back corners.
Kevin, that was ugly, bro. You should be ashamed of yourself.
SOAS takes round one. Switch side.
That was some sloppy ass shit, bro.
Kevin?
On all of them. Literally, one guy almost stopped the entire run. Nobody even checked.
We're gonna slow-mo that during the key matchup. Do not do that.
You look dumb. I was like, I looked backwards. What the fuck is that? I didn't see you.
We got Legacy over here on the right.
All right, teams, barrels to the wall. Referees, thumbs up when your team is ready. Round two is live on the horn.
What up, Alex? It's not as hot this time. I'm still sweating, but it's not as bad. Good communication on both teams. I believe the stream will be running from 9, it'll run to 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And Legacy takes that round.
All right, Legacy takes round two, so we're switching sides for round three.
One, you need a top more. One, three, you guys need a top more. Get it. All right. Get there, yeah.
Yeet and Murder Inc. Could you guys get the make ready and come out to the field now? Yeet and Murder Inc. You guys can make ready and come out to the field now. All right, this is going to be round three of SOAS versus Legacy.
SYG's first game was actually against themselves. We have they have two teams out there today.
Game is live on the horn.
With SYG 1 beating SYG 2. that their far right back player has caught wind at Legacy's snake player. You can hear him keep repeating snake to his teammates. I'm not sure if any of his teammates heard him or are making any adjustments based on that information. Ooh. Yeah, a little collision between a player and a ref there. Angel Perez, no, you do not need to attend every single event in order to play in the championship in November. However, it does affect your ability to be in the standings. Now, we are keeping track of all the scores and tallying them, and the standings are being updated per event.
Legacy, load up. You guys are playing again real soon.
What? Where are we in the round one?
Done.
Well, this is first of round two.
Yeah. No, this is the end of round one. End of round one. All right, SOAS takes round 3 and set.
So SOAS beating Legacy. I'll give you guys a quick overview of the field while we wait for our next match. So for those of you just tuning in, you'll notice that if you did watch the live stream from last month's event, the field looks a little bit different.
The next matchup is going to be Legacy.
Traditionally, what we've done is that the bigger barriers in the back are usually the largest of the barriers found in the field. We decided this time to make things a little bit interesting. Flip the script a little bit and give the back players on the teams a much smaller barrier to have to play out of today. So what this does to people's strategies in the team is that they may have to push some of their faster players, smaller players out to the corners, whereas traditionally players will usually send their taller, bigger players to the corners. What happens now is that these two barriers here are better reserved for the taller, larger players, and the back corners, as you can see, they're only 3 feet tall versus a 6 foot tall barrier. So we just made that change to see how these teams adapt. Part of SpeedQB is not just playing a familiar field, it's the ability to, have your team adapt to any given situation. Maker, you can place orders for SpeedQB gear on the speedqb.eu website as opposed to the global website. So the European region, if you are interested in SpeedQB products, again, those can be purchased on speedqb.eu. You can go to speedqb.com. There's an option to select SpeedQB Europe or SpeedQB Global. Our European players will click on the SpeedQB Europe portal.
Yeah, they're right here.
Shout out Demo in the house. Hey.
All right, it's going to be round 1, Legacy versus Eclipse.
We got Legacy versus Eclipse.
Barrels to the wall, referees give me a thumbs up when you take it.
We got Legacy over here on the right side and Eclipse over here on the left.
Round 1 is live on the.
So obviously Legacy now playing back-to-back games based on the bracket. So let's see how their physical conditioning does for them in this round. I'm sure a lot of them are tired already from the previous game. But again, being able to adapt to any given situation is what is the landmark of a successful SpeedQB team. So let me explain something to you here, guys. You have 3 players all watching one snake player. This is the impact that one snake player can have on a game. What it does is that it creates chaos, forces all the eyes to be watching on a very dangerous situation. But all this guy, his understanding of his position is that he's a distraction. He's not really peeking out, not taking shots, not risking his body. Ooh. Nice move. We got a poison situation here. He might not be aware of his poison. Ooh. Player is very obviously frustrated by the mistake. Hopefully he'll come around and learn from that. Legacy clearing the field.
Legacy takes round 1, switch sides.
Legacy up 1-0.
But if you hit the tower, I'm going to drop kick you.
From the tower.
Regarding strategies for playing against Milsim players, in my experience, and I'm not saying that all of them don't know how to do this, but a lot of Milsim players kind of lack the ability to snap shoot efficiently with proper timing. So one strategy that you can take is to mess with the timing of a Milsim player. Again, the disclaimer, I know there's a lot of Milsim players that are very good at snap shooting, but for the most part, in my experience, that's the one advantage that a SpeedQB player can have over a Milsim player. I don't have exact dimensions for you, but the facts lie in the fact that, you know, a lot of these events take place at different venues, and each of these venues have different square footage. So a lot of times we have to tailor these events to the facility. So here at Project M1, you know, the square footage is a little bit smaller than we're used to, but when you make good use of the space, it still provides for a very optimal playing field. Fields like SS Airsoft in Georgia, the dimensions are much tight as well, but what that does is that it forces very intense, very fast gameplay.
All right. Eclipse takes round 2. We're going to switch sides and go to round 3. Hey, where's my stuff? It's going to be round 3 of Eclipse.
Going back to the subject of tactics against Milsim players, another thing that comes to mind is positioning and angles. You know, flanking is obviously something that's really effective against most Milsim players. What I've noticed from observing Milsim players and gameplay is that a lot of these players shoot straight up. So if you hit them head on and get into a gunfight with them, you know, it's obviously probably gonna be more advantageous to move up without being detected, get into a position to flank, and that would be a really good strategy for that. So for those of you who are not aware of what snap shooting is basically a way to gunfight while, you know, exposing as little of your body and making yourself as small of a target as possible. It involves you snapping out of your barrier, leaving cover for a split second, trying to give your opposition a hairline, a very small window of time for you to take that shot and for your opposition to shoot back at you. So a snapshot is basically like a jab. You know, you're either taking a little look or you're snapping out to get a look and a quick shot. You know, if you're in a gunfight, sometimes you'll be able to time your opponent, get a few shots off, back into cover immediately. Whoa, how many teams are here again? No? Once again, we are live in Los Angeles and El Monte, California at Project N1 for the August SpeedQB Los Angeles event. We have 16 teams here playing today. Sounds like there was a penalty.
No call. It's going to be on Eclipse. Colors with white.
So if you guys have noticed today, there have been a lot of penalties called.
Legacy takes round 3.
I wouldn't say a lot, but there have been penalties called. And what happens is, for the purpose of running a smoother event, allowing back-to-back games, when there is a penalty assessed, the opposing team forfeits that match and loses.
Following that is going to be LTV2 versus Down South. Please be ready.
Wait, Roy, do you have another one? Let me hit that real quick.
Nice and dusty.
Quick little one-handed water break while I'm holding the gimbal.
Had a no call that I recorded on SOS, but I was told we can't challenge that. Yeah, it's kind of tough and maybe we'll figure it out for like
Shout out to the viewers. Again, don't be shy in the comments. Anytime there's a lull in the game, I'll be able to field questions, answer any questions you may have about the sport.
All right, fellas. It's going to be round 1 of Yeet versus Murder Inc. Girls to the wall. Referees, give me a thumbs up when your team's go. Round 1 is live on the horn.
Shout out to Night Vision Airsoft. Thank you for tuning in. Some of the penalties include obviously no calls, late calls, false starts at the starting gate. To check out for the rest of the rules for SpeedQB, please visit the website under events and rules. Man, this gimbal, man. Jose, I don't know where it's opening, but there are a lot of rumors going around about new fields opening up in Southern California, so I think that's a great thing. We need more fields, need more players, you know. What I've seen historically in the past is a lot of fields that are very competitive with each other, very cutthroat with each other. But you know, what we understand is that this is a community, right? And the more fields there are, the more places there are to play airsoft, the better it is for the community, the better it is for the brands, the retailers, and it just helps the sport grow. To get more eyes in the sport and more support from brands like KWA that see a lot of potential in the sport of SpeedQB and just want to take it as far as we can. You know, SpeedQB is nationwide in the United States. It is also worldwide in countries such as the Netherlands, Japan, New Zealand, and we're getting a lot of inquiries from a lot of countries outside the United States. Obviously, you know, other regions like North America, in Toronto, Siege Airsoft. So we're actively, you know, looking for who these fields are that want to get down, want to have SpeedQB events at their field. And I know for a fact that in my DMs, there's a lot of players asking me for their fields to join in on the fun. So if you have the field and you want to have SpeedQB games there, have them get in touch with SpeedQB. We're only a couple hours into the second event of the year. Already a very successful event with 16 teams from the Los Angeles area playing here today at Project N1. His voice cracking. Somebody just hit puberty on the live stream. I would love to see SpeedQB out in Ireland. My understanding of Ireland is, at least what I've seen on YouTube, is a lot of outdoor stuff going on. Ooh, dirty, so dirty. For those of you who missed out on last month's stream, there are a few key matchups up on the SpeedQB official YouTube channel. I believe it features a game between Down South, SYG, LTD versus... Who did LTD play in that key matchup? Yeah, well, that was Down South. And SYG played... Forgot. Oh, it was both games versus Down South. But yeah, Down South putting in work. You know, they're a team that's local to Project N1. They have played in SpeedQB events in the past. Did really well in the first event last month. It's pretty crazy. I feel like we were just here a couple weeks ago. Oh yeah, well, it's 2 weeks ago. So this event kind of crept up on everybody, you know?
All right, barrels to the wall, barrels to the wall. Referees give me a thumbs up. When team's ready.
So say what's up, Playboy.
Round one of LTD2 versus Down South is live on the horn.
Down South Snake player has, made a huge impact in the opening of the season during the games. He did a lot of work from here. What's his name again? Ooh. Ooh. Sometimes you just gotta make sure, you know? Actually, that shot probably didn't hurt too much. I think it hit him in the beanie and then right in the lens, so I'm sure he's all right. Right now we have Down South versus LTD2. Down South on the left side, LTD on the right. Looks like LTD's making a push across the field. Things could get pretty crazy here. Oh, and he's killed on the way there. Oh, actually, he's still in. Things change, and we got to move on. So we're here live at Project N1. This season's Los Angeles events will be hosted here in El Monte, California at Project N1 Airsoft.
All right, it's going to be round two of LTD2 versus Down South. Following this will be most wanted versus Union.
This gimbal, dude, why does it keep turning off? Let me put it like this. Any field that chooses to make their own rules and decides who to include or who not to include in the game, we can't work with that. Obviously, every team that plays here has to play on this field, and we wanted to ensure that every team that wanted to play this season would be able to. But I think it's important for everybody to move on past the negativity, We're in a good place. We have a venue that is working hard with SpeedQB to ensure quality events. Their ref staff is top-notch, as seen from their other events. We have referees on each opposite end of the field, against the wall, making sure nothing goes by. There have been penalties being called all day. The refs are doing a great job. I'm guessing when you ask me about playing with a high cap in an open field, you mean like outdoors. It's probably not the most optimal weapon to use outdoors, but you know, if you have like a 400 FPS setup, the long barrel, I don't see why you can't. And I think we see a lot more like carbines out there. Maybe not in a high kappa format, but there are ways to get your pistol to shoot really good outdoors.
We're gonna move on to the next one. It's gonna be most wanted versus Union. Go ahead and take the field.
You know, these days, if you're playing public games, there's options like running drum mags, you know? Like, you can carry so much ammo on you.
Will be SYG1 versus Bad Batch.
So, yeah, you can definitely run a high kappa on an outdoor field. Yeah, I think no one's really playing the middle because they're a little bit scared. And I'm going to say that out loud so that maybe some of these teams will hear this when they go home and watch this. We did see a few players play the middle. Obviously, you know, lefty from SYG is not afraid to get down and dirty in the middle in the X. That is his position. Favorite spot to play.
After this match or after this round? After this match. Okay.
Man, I would trade to be in Hawaii and have only outdoor fields.
Round one, the most wanted versus Union. Thumbs up for your team's ready. Round one is live on the board.
We got Union Airsoft here on the left side. They made a strong comeback at the beginning of the season. Really good job on Virus's part of pulling the team together. It looks like he's putting a lot of effort into getting the team synchronized and playing hard for this season. They have a lot of young, fresh talent, really fast legs, good eyes, and fast trigger fingers. And this is what Union has been doing really well this season. You'll see this play a lot from them where two of them will get in the snake. One player will play defensive, send one of the players forward, going for the sweep.
All right, we're gonna move on to round two. Switch sides.
What this does is that it provides one player to provide cover for the advancing player. Should the advancing player mess up or get shot on the way, there's added insurance here by the backup player. Yeah, that gun you were talking about is Union Virus's rifle right there.
All right, teams. It's gonna be round two of Most Wanted versus Union.
Got Most Wanted on the left side. This is round two versus Union Airsoft.
Round two is live on the horn.
This snake player is doing a lot of damage shooting on the inside here. Look at that lineup right there. All lined up on the opponent's 60. Coordinated movement to clean up the game, going for that sweep. I like how they're playing. They're playing as a team. You know, they're all taking care of their individual jobs. And that's when you know your team is in sync. You know, everybody understands what their job is individually, but at the same time, they're keeping teamwork in mind, working together towards a common goal.
Once again, following this matchup will be the LTD1 versus SYG2.
So yeah, I agree. Union is looking very dangerous this season. And it's not to say that they haven't in the past, but it looks like they finally tuned themselves up. Great communication, great gameplay, smart gameplay as well. Here we have SYG1. Screz loves speedsoft. I'm not sure what the laws are in Germany. Maybe some of you viewers back home can get some clarity about this, but when we were in the Netherlands, I believe that you had to be 18 to own an airsoft rifle or gun. So I'm not sure how it works in Germany, or what the legal age of owning an airsoft gun is. 14 to 16 might be young, but maybe some of you viewers back home can give a better answer to that question.
All right, it's going to be round one of SYG1 versus Bad Batch.
Got Bad Batch here on the right, SYG1 here.
Round one is live on the horn.
This is the starting five that are the champions, the belt holders. Trying to hang on to that title. Rusta's doing a good job of letting Poseidon know what's going on in the back right. He just told him that he eliminated the back right player. What that allows him to do is have to pinch everybody out.
All right, we have a penalty, no call. So we have SYG1, color is pink.
First, when he turned the corner.
No, good.
All right, it's going to be round two of SYG1 versus Bad Batch. Round two is live on the horn. We have a penalty late call. It's going to be on Bad Batch. Color is green.
All right, so both teams dropping around due to
We are
penalties.
going to round 3.
So it's tied 1-1 now based on penalty. SYG versus Bad Batch.
Onto the field for round 3. This winner of this round wins the set.
That's a question that I'm never gonna answer. So you can guess all day, and it probably means everything you think it does.
Barrels to the wall, barrels to the wall. We're going to go to round 3.
Sorry, guys. My gimbal will periodically give out on me for some reason. So thanks for being patient about that. Now both teams got a penalty in the last round. I mean, the first round, SYG got a penalty. Second round, Bad Batch got a penalty. So that's why we're tied right now.
SYG takes round 3 and the set.
So SYG wins that match. Pretty interesting considering that the first 2 games were forfeited by each team for a penalty. So the refs are watching and enforcing.
Yeah, come get this mic.
And it looks like we have SYG 2 versus LTD 1. This LTD 1? So while this is not the SYG squad that won the belt last season, they are still representing the other half of the team. We got Lefty and Chef, the OGs, with 3 new prospects. We're testing them out.
Barrels to the wall, barrels to the wall.
Let's see how this game goes down.
Round 1 is live on the horn.
So I would say that the key defensive players in this game are, I want to say it's Matt Miyashiro there on a rifle. His direct adversary would probably be Chef here, supporting cover fire. We have DJ and the Snake. Lefty on the far right U. Looks like LTD lost 1 player, 5-on-4. LTD doing a good job of being defensive here. SYG's lost some key players defensively here. Hopefully they can spread the field out. It looks like it's a 3-on-3 game. Nicely played by Figgy there.
LTD takes round 1. Go ahead, switch sides, switch sides.
Hard fought match by both sides with LTD taking that first round. You know, back in the day, these two teams were one of the few teams to get together on a Sunday morning to play competitive airsoft, and played one of the first one of the first few SpeedQB unofficial SpeedQB Sundays were played between these two teams. So obviously LTD, SYG, teams like ML having a big part in the birth of this sport. Let's see if SYG can turn things around. SYG 2 versus LTD 1.
Round 2 is live on the horn.
Both teams playing a little bit more defensively here. Obviously, with LTD1 snatching the first round, they're going to want to play a little bit defensively. There's no reason to run out there and crazy and aggressive when you have the points advantage. So what they're doing here is they're playing defensively. What SYG needs to do here is to start dropping some of their support players in order for their front players to move up. So conservative gameplay from both sides here. Got a small bump from SYG. I'm gonna take a wild guess here, and there could be a chance that this clock could run out in this match for some reason. I could be wrong, but that's what I'm predicting. Looks like all the LTD players have shifted towards the middle back, playing out of this barrier, and the back middle. SYG, we have guys right here, and the back corner, and back middle. So I think it's still 3-on-3 right now. Looks like LTD lost a player, making it 3-2 advantage on SYG. But LTD's in a very optimal position, having two stand-up players in these tall bunkers. SYG will either have to make use of the snake or push their way past the 50. Bit of a lazy grab there, risking his life. Looks like 2-on-2. Now it looks like it is the two lone prospects. We have Phantom and DJ. And like I said, time running out.
3 minutes, give me 1 second.
Hate it when I'm right.
Eric, so if they grab the flag, that's how it points, right?
I don't know how long he had possession of it before he got shot, though. That was pretty close.
Okay, so
But I mean,
almost like as he grabbed it,
where's Roy?
it's 2-2 right now. I mean, 2 players each.
So it's tied.
If the hit was before the flag round.
It was so close.
So
Yeah.
we won't count it, so then it's a draw. Is that we scrap the round?
Okay.
All right, so that was a draw. So it's still 1-0. Switch sides. We're gonna play again.
So that second round was a draw. It looked like, the SYG player might have had possession of the flag, but he was shot so closely after or during him grabbing the flag that it was very close to call. So that game was ruled as a draw. Score still 1-0, LTD advantage.
All right, it's going to be round 2. We're going to replay round 2. It's going to be round 2 of LTD1 versus SYG2. Barrels to the wall. Round 2 is live on the home.
Very open and vocal communication on Phantom's part. Sounds like both teams are a little bit quiet right now. Again, these two teams are very familiar with each other. Even though there are a lot of newer players on this SYG2 squad as prospects, these are all players that have played against each other for years. So if you're wondering why the game looks so defensive and looks like a slow play, it's because these teams know each other's tactics. And this is how they've historically played each other. It's like a 4-on-4 situation with LTD and SYG both dropping one body. SYG playing a little bit too aggressively, giving up 2 players, allowing LTD to get up in the snake.
All right, LTD1 takes round 2.
Hard played game. LTD1 takes
We're going to move
the
on
match.
to the next matchup. It's going to be Trim versus Captain. Following this matchup will be Official versus SOAS. Please be ready.
Do you guys have something in the ruling for 2 minute draws? Like draw. So like right there, it was draw, right? But let's say the score is like 2-2 already.
Yeah.
And it's a draw. Do you just run it again?
I mean, to beat the odds, right?
You kind of have to. But then,
Well,
points-wise, that makes it confusing though.
We're trying to get the
No. I'm just saying for the tournament, you guys should put something in the rules.
and the scores are points account for, and it's going to be four rounds.
Right. Just so there's no like argument in the thing like later on.
Oh, wait, actually, I think.
All right, it's going to be round 1 of Trim versus Captive.
We got Trim on the right side, Captive on the left.
Team is ready. Round 1 is live on the horn.
roster for SYG2 is currently the 2 OGs, Lefty and Chef, and we have 3 prospects that are playing on that second squad right now.
All right, team, it's going to be round 2 of Trim versus Captive. Girls to the wall, referees, give me a thumbs up when you see me.
You know, I think there is some value in limiting RPS.
Round 2 is
But,
live on the horn.
you know, for me, having come from paintball, when they switched that over to ramping, I thought that was kind of bullshit because you either have a fast semi-finger or you don't. And if you don't, then that's too bad. So shooting a gun fast is a skill. And if you can't do it and you need something to help you do it, then I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, currently double triggers are not allowed in SpeedQB play. But that's not to say that it's not fun to play with, you know, in a public game. You know, even and you guys need to understand that sometimes, you know, gun regulations and rules are not entirely up to SpeedQB as an organization. Sometimes the fields will have their own rules against certain equipment, and you know, we try our best to be cooperative. So a lot of times it has to do with safety. It could do with politics, unfortunately, but rules are in place for a reason, and if safety is one of them, then I can't really argue against that. Nice move by that captive player there. He ran up on the guy with no ammo, quickly reloaded to get the kill. So, you know, obviously, in terms of skill, we're not just talking about how fast you can pull the trigger. How fast can you get your gun up and running when something goes wrong in that very moment where you need it most? You know, reloading is a huge skill that I think is overlooked sometimes. You know, it's a split-second difference sometimes between you eliminating somebody and somebody eliminating you. That's just coming from me. I'm a big reload nerd, so I like to see that happening. So aside from team skills, you know, the ability of your team to communicate with each other, make things happen on the fly, there are a lot of individual skills that players need to work on, whether it's snap shooting, gun handling, you know, learning how to use cover properly, and just overall playing a smarter game. That is divided into 2 categories to me. There's the individual skills and the team skills.
All right, here we go. It's going to be round 1, official versus SOES. Barrels to the wall. Referees give me a thumbs up when you see me ready.
As Alex just said, you know, sometimes insurance ruins everything. And the thing is, these fields are out there trying to make things safe for the players. So that's what's important.
Round 1 is live on the horn.
Team official breaking out, sending one player to the snake. And it looks like we got Sosa guest starring. I believe this is the SOAS. They had a much bigger team before. I think they're down to 1 squad now. So I'd like to see them bounce back. Team official dropping their back left player. official making a quick bump into the snake. What's dangerous about this situation is that Sosa does not have any cover from his back left. And he's looking inside. Oh, nice move by Sosa. And the fill. Nice little shift right there. And that's what we're talking about when SpeedQB is played as chess. You know, you make one move and it changes the entire landscape of the match. Sosa playing that very smart, not playing that X traditionally by staying in the middle. Moving over into the right. What happens now, he has an angle on the inside. Whoa. Sosa with the one ball bunker.
Murdering LTD. Yeah. Captive Legacy. SYG2 trim.
All right, SOS takes round 1 and goes to round 2. It's going to be round 2 of SOS versus official. Following this will be Murder Inc. versus LTD2. Our team's barrels to the wall. Referee's thumbs up when your team is ready. Round 2 is live on the horn.
You know, what I really like to see is like a team that try to push 2 players into the snake. If I was playing right now, that's what I would call to do. None of these teams are really gambling that hard. Sometimes you make a high risk move and it's a very high reward.
Not right now.
So we have basically 2 mini teams here. We got a back guy and a front player here. Same thing happening here. And they just lost a support player. Looks like a 3-on-2 game. What I would do if I was a team official, I would get out of this. And he just, awesome. Smart move. I don't know if he heard me, but it's a good move on his part. Showdown.
All right, official takes round 2. Go ahead and switch sides for round 3.
Joaquin, you know, I know it's difficult sometimes when you're just starting out, and these things do take time. If you think about how long some of these teams have been around, you know, some of the older teams like LTD, SYG, they've been around for almost, I want to say almost a decade. I mean, I'm rounding up a little bit, but don't feel discouraged, you know, because if you're just starting out, I know it's hard to meet people, and it's hard to like pull from your actual group of friends to come out and drag them to play airsoft. So the best thing to do is just to like come to these events, you know, go play airsoft a lot and just meet people that, you know, you could probably form a team with, and you just gotta try it out. But you know, I understand that it's frustrating because sometimes things don't happen as fast as you want them to. But just have comfort in knowing that some of these teams, you know, really had to take 5+ years to get their act together. So everybody has to start somewhere. What the fuck? Nice move. Ooh, sloppy. Well, kind of chaotic, kind of hectic here. A lot of people doing some reckless shit. But luckily it still worked out. Life in Blu-ray, that's great advice.
All right, we have a penalty, no call on official. Color is green. SOAS takes round 3 and the set.
Hey, when they say green, what are they referring to?
That's a color band on the backpack of your mask.
Gotcha. Oh, okay. So if you guys are paying attention, when they do call penalties, they are calling a color with that penalty. So the player will usually have a colored band used to identify the offending player. We have Team Murder Inc.
All in this matchup will be captive
versus LTD2.
Players, remember to have your marking band. Round 1 is live on the horn.
For all rules on penalties, you can visit the SpeedQB.com website, and there's an entire list of rules there and penalties. Nice cross shots, in prime position to go for the sweep. Just like last month's event, this spot is key. If your team can get in here and put 2 guys here, and their back right player is gone, there's a lot of work that can be done from here. And I think a lot of these teams are picking up on that. I'd like to see that happen a little bit more on the opposite side. I feel like it's being underused. We have seen some teams put 2 players in the Twin Towers or the mountain over there, which are made up of 3 triangle Dorito-shaped barriers. Who won that first round? Okay, Murder Inc. take that first round versus LTD2. Sorry.
All right, teams, barrels to the wall. Referees, give me a thumbs up when your team is ready. Round 2 of LTD 2 versus Murder Inc. is live on the horn.
I like how evenly LTD2 is spread out. It gives him a little bit of room to make moves just like this. And he can do it without any fear of not having cover fire from his back guys. Again, guys, sorry about my gimbal. It periodically shuts off. A little bit of a duel going on in the snake right now. Nice shot by LTD2. Team Murdering doing a good job of shutting that snake down, giving them a little bit more breathing room now to assess the situation. Unfortunately, LTD already has some plants, seed planted. Both back players from Team Murdering eliminated simultaneously, making it an easy sweep for LTD2. I'm still waiting to see some better flag hang celebrations, some alley-oops, some 360s.
All right, guys, it's gonna be round 3 of Murder Inc. versus LTD2. Barrels to the wall.
Murder Inc. versus LTD2, tied at 1 apiece. The third round, we'll see who wins.
Round 3 is live on the horn.
2 guns up laning with 3 runners on LTD2 side. And it looks like all the positions on Team Murder Inc. is a little bit mirrored. They played 3 players out of that center barrier. Very sneaky, sending an insert player to the left stand-up. And Team Murder Inc. with a lot of paintball experience. But you can see that it doesn't necessarily always translate over. These barriers are a little bit less forgiving than some of the traditional sub-air bunkers that you see in paintball.
Penalty, no call on LTD2, colors orange.
And we have a penalty in LTD2. Murder Inc. takes that match, 2-1.
All right, the next matchup is going to be Captive versus Legacy. Please take the field. Following that will be SYG2 versus Trim. Please be ready.
Demo.
Team Legacy in the huddle at their starting gate, getting ready for their match. First Captive over here on the right side.
Sorry about that. It's going to be round 1 of Captive versus Legacy. Barrel to the wall. Round 1 is live on the horn.
Captive is playing 2 men short. Keep in mind that, even though they are 2 players short, this is not necessarily a bad thing for them. It gives an opportunity to practice a 5-on-3 situation. In tournaments, in competition, you know, if there are enough penalties assessed to your team and you lose a player, guess what? You got to play the rest of the game with 4 players. So these teams need to be prepared for that, and you should practice for that as well. Things do happen, penalties do call. We're not saying that anybody's out there intentionally cheating, but hey, penalties happen. You know, that's the reality of all sports. And that's why these rules are in place. That's why we have referees on the ground to call these penalties. So traditionally, I know that the language that's in the vocabulary used around penalties is cheating, but what's happening here, this is a sport. There are rules. When those rules are broken, those are called penalties. And there are consequences to those penalties. While airsoft as a whole has traditionally been an honor sport, you know, try to apply the same concept to any other sport like basketball, baseball, football. It's not any different. So rules need to be in place, referees need to be on the field, and those penalties need to be called. Personally, I think, you know, the word cheater in uses vocabulary is it's just a clickbaity word to me at this point, you know? Like, penalties are penalties, and that's why we have referees. And that's why it feels like Project N1 have a fantastic staff of referees to make sure that fair play is taking place at these events.
All right, Legacy takes round 1, switch that for round 2.
Shout out SpeedQB Junkie, CQB Junkie that just hopped in the comments.
All right, barrels to the wall.
Again, yeah, equipment is just one of those things that whatever you feel the most comfortable with, whatever helps you play to the best of your ability, that's what you should be using. There's no right or wrong answer. There's no formula for having a good gun. It's really what works best for you. You know, we have, you know, back in the day, there's players playing with like ghetto tri-shot shotguns, and they were still able to murder people. So it boils down to skill. It boils down to what you're comfortable playing with. DPS, congratulations on your purchase. That gun shoots really straight. I've been using that gun on my travels to Netherlands and to Toronto, and it's almost like that gun shoots heat-seeking missiles. Like I'm just not even aiming at stuff and it's hitting people. So I'm having a really good time with that gun. Great positioning by Captive here in the Snake. Again, I'd like to see people use more use of the cover. Like instead of running wide here, what he could have done is just ducked in here, hid behind here for a while, snapshot, you know, and then he could have come around this way. I don't know how many players were left at that point. Assuming there was one, he could have taken this route. You know, that player still would not have been able to see him. Shoot him out from here, shoot out from the left side. Many options there, but a lot of people tend to get tunnel vision once they reach this point and they want to just, you know, do this really nice, fancy, sexy sweep, but sometimes you risk the body doing that. So why not save the 5 points, take a safer route, use cover.
It's going to be round 3 of Captive versus Legacy. Barrels to the wall, referees, get your thumbs up when your team is ready.
Got Marty over here clowning me for sounding really serious, speaking in my professional voice.
Round 3 is live on the horn.
Very dynamic snap shooting by Captive there. Very accurate, well-placed shots. It's all a blend of speed and accuracy. Accuracy and speed.
We're gonna move on to the next match. It's gonna be SYG2 versus Trim.
Next up, we have SYG2 versus Trim.
Matchup will be Bad Batch versus LTD1. Please be ready.
Good job, boys.
Again, the roster of SYG2 is 2 OGs, Chef and Lefty, and 3 prospects. If you know who they are, that's great, but I'm not gonna tell you who they are. They're just prospects at this point.
Sorry.
All right, teams, barrels to the wall. Referees, give me a thumbs up when your team is ready. Round 1. It's going to be round 1 of SYG2 versus Trim.
Yeah, I mean, there is a big jump once you step from an AEG, or where most people start with an AEG. They might have like a upgraded SSG that has fairly decent trigger response, but a lot of times what people do is they end up switching over to like an HPA gun, whether it's a Polestar, Fusion Engine, a Jack, a Wolverine, and the instant trigger response, it does change things a little bit in terms of rate of fire and how quickly you can place your shots. But what we're seeing is like a little bit of a retro thing happening where a lot of Southern California players, and not just limited to Southern California, but we're seeing like a resurgence of AEGs, specifically DSGs in SpeedQB gameplay. But again, it all boils down to preference. Some people like the consistency of an HPA trigger. They like the consistency of a regulated system. Some people like using an AEG that doesn't require them to carry a pack or carry a lot of equipment on them, giving them a wider range of motion or movement. What the fuck happened there?
Gun jam.
Oh my god.
All right, SYG2 takes round 1. Going to switch that to round 2.
SYG2 taking round 1. Is that based on time?
Good job, boys. Didn't know they were all out.
Let's go, teams. Barrels to the wall, barrels to the wall. Referees, give me a thumbs up when your team is ready.
The ref ensuring that barrels are touching the wall and the feet are touching the starting gate.
Round 2 of SYG2 versus Trim is live on home.
Quick move to the X by SYG by Ben. SYG2's back players providing a storm of support fire, taking out multiple players. This is just based on pure accuracy by volume, allowing the front players to get in prime positions, stacked on the 50. SYG cutting the field in half, all the while still providing cover for each other. Phantom calling the 4-hole count. Well played both defensively and offensively by SYG2.
Alright, SYG2 takes round 2 and is set.
So that match goes to SYG2.
LTD1, go ahead and make
Now we have LTD1 versus Bad Batch.
SYG1.
It's not really tight on the shoulder, so don't let it fall out. Okay. When LTD is playing, I mic drop, so just get it's on super wide, right? Double check that it's on super wide, 1080, 60, and then that shit falls out of it. That's not easy, so careful. If you can just film that. Hey, Roy. Yeah. Mike, where's the mic?
And we are actively miking up players. Some of you viewers at home know that we posted some key matchups from July's event. We'll be doing the same thing with August's event. So we have multiple cameras, multiple GoPros rolling right now, capturing footage from all angles.
All right, team, Bad Batch versus LTD1. Barrels to the wall. Referees, give me those thumbs up when we're ready. Round 1 is by one.
Bad Batch losing 2 players off the break. What a lot of these teams are failing to recognize early on in the game when they lose players is that they have to shift based on things that happen. Their intention was to send certain players to certain points, and if they don't make it, they should make adjustments based on that. So if I was Bad Batch, what I would have done is that back middle player should have stayed there. The player here in the stand-up should have just fell back eventually to fill the back 3 and set up for a defensive position. Now it's just gonna fall apart from here. You know, as soon as LTD gets in the snake, shoots angles across, guaranteed this is gonna be the first. And that's how you use cover to finish a game. What? You notice that he did not overrun his barrier, he stopped short. Stop short right there at that barrier to get a shot at this barrier. Safe, you know, keeping himself safe from his mirror. So while it's cool to make flashy and fast moves, run downfield and mow people down, sometimes it's necessary, especially if you're watching the points closely in a competitive situation. And you can't afford to give another team 5 points. It's imperative that you do something like that. Offense, the strongest offense is coupled with a strong defense, right? I've been saying over and over, this game, much like many other sports, is about, or boxing, for example, is to hit and not get hit. It's to take your target without taking a hit from a BB. So whether that's using cover or taking your shot and quickly getting back into cover, that's what makes the difference between getting an elimination, scoring the elimination, keeping yourself alive in that game. I see a lot of players shooting and just kind of trying to self-confirm that they took somebody out, and they leave their head out there. And what they do is they just give somebody a target to shoot. When it ends up being a situation where you could have just taken one body out, it becomes a trade. So you'll see much more advanced players, more seasoned players playing much smarter, not sacrificing or not giving the other team anything to shoot at. The advantage that LTD2 has here now is that they're lined up. And they have a numbers advantage, allowing them to make moves like this. Oh. And, you know, when you make moves like that and you give yourself away, you got to be able to recover quickly. He pretty much just slid in there telling everybody, hey, I'm right here in a 2-on-1 situation. Wait, is this rolling right now? Oh, okay, you can even, okay.
This one's going to be Union versus SYG1.
So now we have Union versus SYG1.
Following this will be Down South versus Most Wanted. Please be ready to play.
Yo, Roy. Is this supposed to be rolling right now? GoPro power off. This piece of shit.
Barrels to the wall, barrels to the wall. Referees will make thumbs up when your team is ready. Round 1 is live on the horn.
So both of these teams are very snake-heavy strategy teams. We'll see how this plays out. It'll be interesting to see when the teams can figure out that they're able to shoot shots from corner to corner. I haven't seen that many support player battles yet. Seems like most teams are opting to play the tail end of the snake and sending one player in. So far, Union has not been able to get a player in the snake or deep inside. Both SYG and Union playing at their respective tail ends. And Union positioning themselves, getting 2 players in the snake while losing 1 support player. Union making good use of the angles here with Virus picking up snake. Very close game.
All right, Union.
It boils down to who makes better use of the snake.
All right, switch sides, switch sides.
Come on, Poseidon, you gonna let him do you like that?
All right, it's gonna be round 2 of Union versus SYG1. Barrels to the wall, barrels to the wall. Referee's gonna be thumbs up when your team is ready. Game is live on the horn.
I'm sure you guys can hear that are watching Union's communication between their back player and their snake player is very clear. Union trying to fill in the snake, getting shot in the hand by Poseidon here. So it looks like Union might be out of players to insert in the snake. This should give SYG the advantage in the snake should Poseidon choose to push up. If I was him, I would coordinate right now with his back player, tell him that he'd be going straight up, going into the snake. There's a big difference in going there without telling somebody and having your team informed of that move you're gonna make. Luckily, his skill made up for that lack of communication. And that's what you should be doing. Marty was just here earlier when I was talking about this, and he took the advice right away. You know, he could have just ran this way and risked himself getting shot again by this guy, but what he did was, what'd he do? Came here, told Poseidon a little bit, scooted up in here, came around here, and took a look from here.
Round 3. Switch sides for round 3.
So we're tied at 1 apiece between Union and SYG1.
All right, barrels to the wall. Referee, give me a thumbs up when your team is ready. This is going to be round 3 of Union versus SYG. Game is live on the horn.
Poseidon getting eliminated off the break. Obviously, both teams feeling the pressure here to get in that snake off the break, establish positional dominance. And it looks like Union's gonna get to work right now in the snake. And again, he could have taken the safe route. And it looks like Union cleared the field and takes that match. Hey, get in the room and get that shit together.
We move on to the next round. After this will be down south versus most wanted. Go ahead and make your way on.
Hey, good job, guys.
Good job, good job.
Following this matchup will be SOAS versus Eclipse. Please.
Huh? Oh.
Union doing a good job of rising up to the occasion, knowing where their strengths are, and playing up to those strengths. There's no reason at all to change their strategy, knowing that going into today's games, that's what's been working for them. Until a team can find a way to deal with that, they're probably going to be doing that all day. And we're going to see a lot of teams doing that. Take over this real quick.
All right, this is going to be round 1 of down south versus most wanted. Game is live on the horn.
Which one's those?
Sapo's taking a bathroom break, so apologies for the lack of commentary and the crappy gimbal control. So down south takes that first round.
All right, down south takes round 1. Go ahead and switch sides.
That might be right. While he's peeing.
It's not that hot today. It's pretty cool compared to last week. I mean, last time, 1,000 degrees.
All right, it's going to be round 2 of down south versus most wanted.
So we got most wanted here
Round
on
is
the
live
right
on.
side. They are down 1. Oh my.
All right, we have a penalty, no call.
Did you see it? You saw it. Right?
It's going to be down south, colors purple.
Oh yeah. That sounds about right.
Most wanted takes round 2
While
and
he's
switch
peeing.
sides for round 3.
They're all in the bathroom together right now.
We're done at 2. Can I get a green monster? Yeah, we're done at 2, so for an hour. We got a lot of games. Almost done with round 3 already. So, because we got Chrono done in like, you know,
Yeah, that was awesome, man. And there's a few less teams, so you get a lot more.
yeah, but it's like just
maybe
because we had
three
three runners going, it was just coming out real good.
Oh no, I mean like the rounds. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right, so we have down south lined up on the right. They've split the matches 1-1 so far.
All right, guys, it's going to be round 3 of down south versus most wanted. Round is live on the horn.
Sorry. Yeah, I think that's the consensus here too, CQB Junkie. We moved the big barriers, the tall barriers, a little bit more towards the center. That allows some of the action to get a bit more towards the flag. So we see a lot more flag action with this layout. The back bunkers are are shorter, so you won't see as much sitting in the back as, it's a bit uncomfortable to sit in the back now. So you might see a lot more action pushed in toward the center.
takes round 3 and the set.
Okay, just text me tomorrow.
All right, we're going to move on to the next matchup. It's going to be SOAS versus Eclipse. Go ahead and take the field now. SOAS versus
Eric,
Eclipse. Go ahead
the
and take
gimbal's
field.
dead.
Really did?
I think so. It was like flashing. Maybe you can try it, but get like wigged out and then. But I think it would be even better if you had to hold it with the gimbal. Well, that'd be dumb. I have a battery, but I don't know. I'll try to grab it.
It's working, but it keeps turning off here and there for some reason. I don't know.
Hold your fire for just 1 second. Please hold your fire for just 1 second.
No. Okay. I'm gonna go grab the charging cord. Hey, Victor, I'm sorry, man. Can you go by the station and grab my green backpack? It's like a canvas, like floppy green backpack. They were like, hey, on the live stream, they're like, Puya, there's like, where did Sabo go? There's like, he went to go yell at SYG.
Kinda.
They're like, whoever's commentating now is trying to cover it up.
All right, guys, it's going to be round 1 of SOAS versus Eclipse.
Yeah, so this field looks like it is providing a lot more action. I think with the previous event, a lot of people figured the snake out and what they need to do to have success playing out of that area. So we're about like 2 hours into the live stream of today's August SpeedQB Los Angeles session number 2. For those of you tuning in, thank you for watching. I mean, this is neither MPPL or X-Ball. This is SpeedQB. Let's get that straight. Thank you, Bird. I just had to set that straight.
All right, SOAS takes round 1.
You know, while SpeedQB format does appear very similar to paintball, let me explain the differences to you guys. You know, you guys all know I have a background in paintball. I competed. You know, most of those events, most of those paintball tournaments are played on sub-air bunkers. They provide a little bit different nuances when it comes to cover. You know, air-blown bunkers, generally you can like get really close to them, shrink your profile down sometimes. With these hard surface barriers, it's a little bit less forgiving in that you're not able to push into anything. You're not able to push bunkers away with your barrels. It's a much more rigid barrier to play behind, and the angles stay consistent. I think it's very important for Airsoft and for SpeedQB to have its own identity, and that's what we're working on. So I do understand the resemblance, but understand SpeedQB is its own sport. For those of you watching at home, we are into our 4th season in Los Angeles. Correct me if I'm wrong. 4 seasons, right? We've done 4 seasons so far? So this is the 4th season of SpeedQB in Los Angeles. Obviously, the history of SpeedQB dates back to the early, I would say 2011. That's where the roots were. Sosa with the shotgun action here. Yo, Roy, can you plug it back in? It fell out.
Sorry, you gotta hold it a little bit lower.
I'm gonna get shot sooner or later. Taking a few on the leg today, but it's all right. I'm doing this for everybody at home watching. CQB Junkie, I did see the event you guys are playing yesterday.
All right, SOAS takes round 2 and the set. We're going to move on to the next set. It's going to be official versus Yeet. Go ahead and take the field now.
The one thing I do like about sub-air bunkers is that you can slide into them and collide into them without hurting yourself. But I personally believe that this type of hard surface barrier is much more challenging to play and much less forgiving on a player. What's up? Say what's up to Shannon, everybody. That's what I'm here for, bro. Any questions you guys have, any confusion, hit me in the comments with questions and I'll try my best to answer them while I'm doing commentary. As you guys have been seeing, I've been trying to provide analysis and breakdowns of certain techniques. I'm watching these games carefully and hopefully, if I see something that people are doing that is consistently bad, I'm gonna speak up and kind of like try to, show you guys a different perspective of how something can be played.
All right, this is round 1 of official versus Yeet. Round is live on the horn.
You understand, these barriers are much smaller. This Los Angeles community, they're arguably the most experienced in SpeedQB, and that's because, that's where Los Angeles is where SpeedQB format was born. So we have to provide much more new challenges to these teams, smaller barriers, just more challenges for them to play behind. If it were up to me, I would remove all 6 feet barriers and make everybody play behind 3 feet barriers and see how it goes. Because that's when the real technical play will come out. There are people who are really good at snap shooting, playing behind cover, that'll show even more. So as this game evolves, you might see more and more of that. And I'm gonna keep my eyes in the game to make sure that we provide those kind of challenges to our players.
Apologies, the color is green, not yellow. All right, it's gonna be round 2 of official versus Yeet.
To give you guys a heads up of what's going on across the country and all over the world, we have many satellite SpeedQB events at fields such as SS Airsoft out in Georgia, Battlecat Sports in South Carolina, just to name a few. We have events popping off in New Zealand, Japan, and later this year, the European Championship will take place again in the Netherlands in October. The winner of the European Championship will fly out to Los Angeles to play in the National Championship in November. So hopefully I'll get to see some old friends in October and see him back in LA in November. Me and Dimo were just down in the Netherlands a few months back for the premiere of the SpeedQB Europe field. It's a great experience, awesome field. Of course, that field was facilitated and taken care of by Bert Franken in the comments, so shout him out in the comments. There's a lot of European players that played in that event as well. And from what I see, the European teams are very excited, very motivated, very driven to bring the fight to teams all over the world. And I think we're starting to see that same intensity happening everywhere. I think everybody understands that sooner or later we're all going to meet in the middle and battle it out. So that's very exciting for everybody here, and I'm sure it's exciting for everybody back home.
All right, official takes round 2 and switch sides for round 3.
Yo, Joaquin says, what's up, Dimo?
So bad batch. So trim's gone.
Oh man, I got so much sweat going in my eye right now.
And push that in. You know what I mean? So it'll be then, and remember they're playing in round 5. We'll do that one first, so they get to play.
All right, attention all teams.
Roy, can you hold this real quick? I gotta wipe all this
Trim
sweat off.
is no longer playing today, so the next matchup is going to be Bad Batch versus Legacy. So Legacy, you'll be playing Bad Batch in round 4, the beginning of round 4. As well as Legacy, you guys will still be playing the second round. Official, you guys have round 3. Switch sides.
Oh, yeah, sorry. You got the penalties.
You're right, sorry. Official wins the set. So this matchup is going to be Legacy versus Bad Batch. You guys can make your way out to the field now.
Can you guys play this one? Legacy, you guys are good to go?
You gotta double tap the. It's like all lip right now.
Limp like noodle. Look like noodle. Yo, why is it blinking like this though?
I don't think that it's charging. I don't know if you're allowed to charge while you're using it. I think that's why. But you can use this, Eric has said. It's probably easier to hold this. And you can set it down if you need to. But
Lucas, I'll check it out when I get some time. Thank you for sending those over.
How they've been running good.
A lot of games.
Yeah.
You want to switch it over?
If you want to, yeah. I think that's what they're
Tripod?
doing.
All right.
Just try to use it like this.
Wait, Roy. If we count this, because that'll give, if we get through this one, which we will, it'll get
Hold this,
Legacy one extra game on everybody. Because they're basically playing twice in this round.
Well, we're going to count it as a 5th round. Oh, that's right.
I don't know if we'll make it to the 5th round. Let's count that.
Yes.
We'll just run it, but then Legacy will.
Yeah, because either way, we can't avoid some players getting extra rounds. So we're not going to get through the 5th round.
Okay.
So, well, actually,
No, because, okay, so there's 2 options. We run this and then they run a second game in this set, in this round. Or Bad Batch just wins against Trim because Trim.
Okay.
well, that's one thing. Okay, anyway, Trim will take the L, and then this will count as the 5th.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of content coming your way from SpeedQB. Got a lot of things in the works.
Barrels to the wall, barrels to the wall. It's going to be round 1 of Trim.
Yeah, typically Joaquin, SYG will practice on Mondays at
Legacy
TAC.
versus Bad Batch.
Alex, you can check those out on the speedqb.com website. Decals, lifestyle accessories such as patches. We got gear, mag pouches, belts, chest rigs, and apparel. A lot more gear coming your way as well. I know some of you local to LA have been seeing some things. I'm not gonna speak on them. but those of you that know already know. Mags are going to be restocking in a few weeks' time. They've just been doing incredibly well, and you know, thanks to people like you guys, we have a hard time keeping them in stock. But the restocks are always coming. You know, if you see something out of stock, it's only a matter of time. Joaquin, I'm actually my favorite product's not even out yet, so I'm gonna put it like that. Your favorite product's not even out yet. But yeah, out of everything that we've made so far, obviously the belt is one of the biggest accomplishments for us. The MBS belt, molecule belt system. You know, me and Rome worked on that together and designed that from the ground up. Just trying to give somebody, just trying to give airsofters some gear of their own that they can call their own, that's made specifically for them. You know, I see a lot of cross-genre, cross-sport use of gear. I'm just working towards a time where airsofters can just buy airsoft stuff for themselves without having to, you know, repurpose gear from other sports, you know? Yeah, I'm just saying, you know, imagine a day where SpeedQB players won't have to buy paintball masks, you know? It's not impossible. I'm just saying. You know, obviously there's a lot of real steel gear in use. I don't blame them. That gear is tried and true. But you know, sometimes you got to think about it like this. There's a lot of people in the real steel industry that don't respect what we do in airsoft, you know? And if they're not supporting the sport, why should we support them? That's all I'm saying. We're gonna see more and more airsoft companies, as seen in the past couple of weeks with G&G, you know, making that gun. It's like people want to make stuff for players like us, you know, and we're gonna see a shift in the industry, whether some people like it or not. They just have to deal with it. This is where the sport's growing. This is where that direction that we're headed in, and you know, obviously us players noticed it first, and then now what's happening is the industry is catching up. And as we see with the first event with Lancer, you know, sponsoring the first event in July, we have KWA sponsoring the event today in August.
We gotta come up with like a solid thing that we have to do every time that this happens, because this happened last time too. We're a team lead.
Yeah. What I think I'll do is we'll use it to randomize it, and we'll have a manual like a spreadsheet, so we can think of
If anything, we could always just redo it after every round.
we could do that. I mean, that's fine. We can do that.
Or at least until the team leads.
So yeah, shout out to everybody rocking with SpeedQB, wearing the gear on field. Don't hesitate to hit me up in my DMs with suggestions. It's always good to hear from the community. You know, I keep my eye real close, keep my ears to the ground to make sure that everything that I'm working on, everything I'm designing is something you guys want, you know? And I'm also looking to give you guys things that you didn't know you needed and didn't want in the first place.
It's wins over games played ratio. So it's not going to help their.
Yeah, you know, I know there's some bootlegs out there and it's cute and everything. I'm not worried about them. They know who they are. We know who they are. It's really flattering. But you know what? Everybody knows where the originals come from. You know, everybody knows where it came from. So if you're rocking with the fake stuff, then I don't know what to tell you. See a lot more players playing the snake a lot more comfortably now, having a lot more confidence.
Give it to me, Wade! Give it to me! Give it to me!
Give it to him. That's one way to ask for cover from your support player. Look at that shot. For sure is hitting his foot. Nice.
He's towering. There, he's towering. He's towering. Tower's down.
Well played by Legacy. 4-5 up.
All right, Legacy takes round 3 and the set.
And that's what we like to see, sportsmanship amongst both teams.
LTD2
Meeting at the end of the match to shake hands and congratulate each other on the victory. Team official walking on the field for their next match.
Following this matchup will be most wanted versus murder.
DPS, yes. The Ronin mags do fit in the SpeedQB pistol pouches. There is an upcoming product that's made specifically for that, so keep your eyes peeled for that. There's a lot of, I see a trend now with a lot of AR-9 SMG style guns. Obviously the ARP-9, the classic army, what's the classic army?
X9.
The X9, you know, guns like that have slimmer mags. So that seems to be the next wave. You know, of course there's people still rocking with the M4 mags, but we're seeing a trend right now where pistol style extendo magazines are showing up on rifles now, so it's a great platform. And we're gonna give you guys the gear necessary to rock that platform with as much comfort and ergonomics as possible. Got lefty checking in. Yo, I'm on low battery right now. How much time we got left? I gotta charge my phone. Can you charge my phone?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the New Zealand scene, they've been around for a while. I think that venue is like possibly one of the best found venues, meaning a repurposed venue, you know? It's one of those fields that I think what they did is they occupied or they rented out like a hockey rink. To me, a hockey rink is like the ideal type of field because there's a spectator area built in, you know, surrounding the hockey rink. So in terms of their venue, it's very clean. I believe their bunkers are still plywood. So it'd be interesting to see a nice, like a, you know, maybe, I know their colors over there are black and purple. Maybe if the barriers were painted purple and black, it'd be dope.
LTD2 takes round 1 by Suicide. It's going to be round 2 of LTD2 versus Official. Please make your way to your wall.
Yeah.
This is not bad, right? This too.
Yeah, it's comfortable to hold. Yeah. I could probably like wrap it around my wrist like a hawk, and just carry it on my arm like like this. An arm mount, forearm mount. Here, wrap it around. Just kidding. Don't do it. Don't do it.
All right, it's going to be round 2 of LTD2 versus Official. Game is live on the horn.
LTD on the right, official. We got about another hour of gameplay left in today's August event. Coming from you live and direct from Project N1 Airsoft in Amani, California. This is the second event of the Los Angeles season. We were just here 2 weeks ago for the season open. I believe we had 17 teams for the first event, 16 teams checking in today. sausage McGriddle, hash browns, small coffee. I'm not sure if you're referring to throwing events at your field or actually being sponsored by SpeedQB. Traditionally, we don't sponsor teams, but we do work on teams that create content. So you guys got dope videos, make sure you send them our way.
Hey, Lyndon. Are you gonna jump down right now? Or wait, what do you guys grab? Or Timo? Can you grab it? Yeah.
Jonathan making some last minute adjustments. Players are probably slamming into that barrier, moving it out of position. So just another example of how Project N1 puts the work in to ensure a quality event like this.
All right, it's gonna be round one of Most Wanted versus Murdering.
Hey, John, next time let me know. I'll do that. I got you.
Round one is live on the horn.
LTD2 making a break into the snake. Nice shots. Hey, what team is this guy? I don't see you. Tripping, dude.
Jonathan, what are these things? Most wanted?
We got Murder Inc. on the left and Most Wanted on the right side. Most Wanted here and occupying the snake. Clean shot. Making really quick work of the last three Murder Inc. players. Great shot selection without exposing too much of his body, not giving his enemies anything to shoot at. Real clean play there. Very clean.
All right, Most Wanted takes round one. Go ahead, switch sides for round two. Let's go, teams. Get to our wall.
Let's take it easy, CQB Junkie. We'll see you soon.
This is going to be round two of Most Wanted versus Murdering. The referee's going to get thumbs up when your team's ready. Round two is live on the horn.
So those of you watching home, inside of this snake, there are actually, when you crawl inside there, there's holes that you're able to shoot out of into the center of the field. Here and here. Ciao, Bert. And because you can shoot out of those holes, you can also get shot from those holes as well.
Friendly right there.
Oh, is it friendly?
Yeah, friendly.
Oh. Who's this right here? James? Who's that? You saw that player scooted back to adjust the angle. The second shot from the inside, noticed that he had nothing, and swung around this way. That's shot selection, path selection.
That's good choice.
This is going to be round 3 of Most Wanted versus Murder Inc.
Round 3, Most Wanted versus Murder Inc. Inc. on the left side, I believe.
Round 3 is live on the horn.
I think we're seeing a lot of snake action today because of this barrier right here. It basically provides a shield to anybody entering from the starting gate into the snake. If someone slides early here, they can make their way in here really easily. A lot of wasted opportunities there. Looks like we have 2 Murder Incs up. 1 Most Wanted in the back middle. Actually, there's 3 of them. Notice that the Team Murder Inc player did not run past this there. He used it as cover to fire from here at the back middle. Smart play, being defensive and offensive at the same time.
We're going to move on to the next matchup. It's going to be SYG1 versus Down South. Go ahead and make your way onto the field.
SYG1 is playing 1 player short based on a penalty.
Following this matchup will be LTD.
Are we still running 4?
We're running 4, yeah.
So it was a 4-on-5. SYG has 4.
Okay.
Let's see how they overcome playing 1 man down.
All right, bounce on the wall, bounce on the wall. Round 1 is going to be live on the horn.
And it's an even game right off the break. 4-on-4. SYG is currently played with Poseidon, Demo, Marty, and I'm looking for the 4th guy. I can't see right now. I believe it's Sosa. 4-on-3 game, I believe. Sosa and Demo doubling up on that stand-up. We got 2 SYG players in the snake.
SYG takes round 1. Switch sides for round 2.
So it looks like they got their heads together, even though they do have 4 players versus a 5-man team. We're able to overcome that, taking out 2 key players very early on in the game.
All right, teams, barrels to the wall. The referees, give me a thumbs up when you're ready. Round 2.
I expect to see more of a defensive play here. SYG's part. That's not. Losing 1 player off the break. One player taking advantage of the fact that they're up on numbers, sliding into the 60. I don't think anybody knows he's there. SYG eliminating 2 players. Great move by that player to hit the 60 off the break, while SYG playing short.
All right. Down south takes round
The 360
2,
flag
round
hang.
3. Go ahead and switch sides.
Damn, William. So that last game,
All right, teams, barrels to the wall. It's going to be round 3. Game is live on the horn.
barrel roll.
Sometimes we just have a bad day.
Nice. Looks like Poseidon finally found his rhythm a little bit, finding those shots.
Set. We go on to the next matchup. It's going to be LTD 1 versus Union. Go ahead and take the field.
We got LTD1 coming onto the field. The Holy Trinity over there, Manny, Figgy, and David. Joined by Matt.
So Lyndon, what are you, like 40 now?
Hey, who's their 5th guy? Who's the guy next to Matt over there? Can't tell who that is.
Someone forgot their red nozzle.
All right, teams, barrels to the wall, barrels to the wall.
I don't know, drop down.
Referees give me a thumbs up.
It's not a nozzle, this is an assist.
Someone drop down.
Whoever has a black and red rifle.
Of LTD 1 versus Union. Game is live on the horn.
He said it's a red nozzle, man. It's not a red nozzle. Union doubling up in the snake, following their strategy. Young Daniel Jr. leading the charge in the snake. While that position there, you see Orsini lying down flat on his back. It is advantageous for him to get a low shot from where he's at. However, as soon as someone gets in here, it's a very wide open shot, so a bit risky. They should know that they're playing Union. They know that Union's gonna try to work their way up into the snake. Great decision by Orsini to shift over. See, if he had taken that inside angle instead, this is not the right team to be making those kind of moves against. Union's still up 3. I believe LTD has 1 player left.
Play your game, boys. Play your game.
Did they win the first match? Won the first match. LTD taking the first match would be advantageous here for Union to possibly wind down the clock and just to get the easy win. But they are setting up in the snake right now. Nice play by Union there. Where's that alley-oop?
All right, Union takes round 1. Let's switch that for round 2.
What's up, Toaster?
Oh, that was the first round. I thought that was the second round.
That was the first round. First round going to Union. Union really making a statement today, showing that they got their shit together. All their positions are locked down. All their players know their jobs. And as a whole, they know what they're out here to do. So dominate as a team, work together as a team. Keeping their composure, staying calm. You know, things might not go their way during a match, but they've shown the ability to overcome adversity.
Thank you. I thought we were next.
I mean, there's a moment in that game where I thought it could shift over into LTD's favor based on the fact that Union was making a few uninformed decisions, a few risky moves that were unnecessary.
Round 2 of LTD 1 versus Union. Game is live on the horn.
Listen to that communication from Union. You see LTD taking a very defensive stance here, doubling up in that right stand-up over there. I mean, the left stand-up. 2 players stacked in the snake. I'm looking for their 5th man. Not sure where he is at this moment. And it looks like Union just lost their snake player. LTD taking that cue, pushing up the snake, looking for that angle. And they trade off. Looks like 2-on-4, actually 4-on-1 LTD advantage. And they all know he's there. They're all communicating to each other, saying back left, 1 back left. You know, he's playing this pretty calmly. He's not showing too much, but sooner or later he's gonna get pinched out. Smart use of cover there. See, they're not overrunning their barriers. Still run. Just because you get past the 50 doesn't mean you can't use the barriers on the other side as cover. I see a lot of teams just running past everything when you have all this cover here to use to end the game. So, great play by LTD.
LTD 1 takes round 2.
So we're tied up right now, 1 apiece.
I just started taking it.
What I would like to see here, personally, is to see a strong push by Union. Historically, I feel like LTD might play this very defensively in the beginning. If Union could stay alive and not give up any bodies for the first 2 minutes and push up further upfield and apply pressure to LTD and force them to play defense, we might see an upset here. So let's see what happens. Basically, what I see LTD doing here, they're setting up a snake defense. Let's say this front player here gets shot. They still have a support player there watching over the snake. So even if Union gets here, they're met with all these angles right here shooting right at them. That's a key elimination right there for Union. 2 stacked in the snake. Daniel Yoon, 13 years old, leading the charge here in the snake against a seasoned veteran LTD1 team. LTD looks like they are playing two to a barrier. Manny trying to make a move there and got cut down, leaving 3 live players left. Daniel Yoon could open up the game right here if he eliminates Maddie Miyashiro. Now, take notice that there's 1 rifle left on LTD side, 1 shotgun and 1 pistol. So they're outgunned here. Looks like Union just cleaned up shop, eliminating all of LTD in the back. So it kind of played out a little bit closely to what I thought. If Union forced LTD to play highly defensively and they made a strong push up the snake.
Move on to the next match. It's going to be Heat.
Great match. Well played by both teams.
Go ahead and make your way onto the field.
This matchup, and then Legacy versus SYG2, but Legacy just left.
And I think it's important for everybody watching, you know, there are teams out here that have a lot more experience. However, there are also teams that are a little bit younger that have been around a little bit shorter period of time, but sometimes they're much hungrier.
To cancel out that first one?
Now, when a team is hungry and is motivated and driven to take down a team like that has years of experience, 2 belts under them, 2 championship belts to their name, and to come out like that and play a smart game like that, it says a lot about where they are right now.
All right, this matchup is going to be Heat versus SOAS.
So I think, you know, as this season goes on and as the years go by, we're going to see a lot of that. You know, the younger teams are going to start catching up. The older teams, unless they refresh their rosters, rethink their strategies, they could become a little bit predictable, you know. I know it's a lot easier for me to stand back here and watch the games and try to guess what's going on, but like, I know these teams, I know the players' tendencies well enough to kind of guess what's going to happen. And I think so far today I've been pretty accurate. So basically what I'm saying is I'd like to see some new strategies formed out there by teams. You know, every team out there kind of has like a signature play style. But once teams kind of pick up on that and get used to it, that's when they need to show them a different look, you know, show them another side of the game. So if you're a very aggressive team and you know, and you're aware that you lack a defensive, you know, play style, that's what you should be working on. You got to be able to adapt. You know, this is a ever-changing sport. Players are coming and going, teams come and go. Strategies get figured out. Yeah, you guys might notice a little bit less laning, a little bit quote unquote spraying, as people are calling it. But I believe it's because this local culture in Los Angeles has gone through several different waves of strategy. You know, there were seasons in the past where it was a lot more laning heavy. People would be like shooting off the break a lot more. This is a much smaller field. You see a lot more pistol players as well. So it could just be that they're conserving ammo, kind of trading in positioning for the ability to shoot while running off the break. Some teams will forfeit laning in order for them to keep their heads down to ensure that they make it to their first primary barriers. Looks like there was a penalty.
That's the end of 3 minutes.
Oh, that's actually the clock ran out.
Yeet Airsoft takes that with 4 players to 3. So Yeet wins round 1. Go ahead, switch sides. We're gonna go to round 2.
What the hell are you doing, Sosa? Oh, you're playing.
Yo, say what up, Rusa.
What's up, guys?
Hey.
Let's go, teams. Get your walls. Get your walls.
Hey, nice move, Daniel.
The whole world's playing. What's up, Cameron?
It's the future right there.
I heard you got 2 sweet.
Kid's good.
All right, guys. It's gonna be round 2 of Yeet versus SOAS. Parallel to the wall. Referee's giving a thumbs up when your team's ready. Round 2 is live on the horn.
What the? Yeah, Chad, there's a lot of refs out here. The great staff at Project N1. We got Jackie up there. Jackie over there is an OG back in the day ML player.
Alright, SOAS takes round 2. I know y'all didn't switch sides.
Oh shit. Muy caliente.
Yeah, it's hotter now than it was earlier today. It's crazy. Thanks.
It's going to be round 3 of group versus SOAS. Barrels to the wall, referee's going to be thumbs up when you're ready. Following this matchup is going to be Bad Batch versus SYG2. Please be ready. Round 3 is live on the horn.
What the? Oh, damn.
Kevin, why are you skipping like a girl?
Let's go!
Nah, you don't want me on commentary, boy.
Hey, get up here real quick, Rooster. Hey, get up here, get up here. Come on now. Give me, I need a break.
Sapo, me and shit, was that good for the camera or what? Did you catch that one? Bro, I ain't seen the Dorito in full barrel already.
Go barrel roll.
5 things at one time.
Do barrel roll.
This matchup is going to be SYG2 versus Bad Batch. Go ahead and take the field now. Following this matchup will be Eclipse versus Captive.
SYG Team 2 over there.
SOAS
Getting started.
I gotta charge this GoPro.
Which one? That
Good
one?
shit. This is live.
Hey, Pat, you want?
No. All right, guys, we have SYG. Oh, by the way, it's SYG Rooster on the live channel behind this camera. So we have SYG2 versus Down South. We have the secondary bench squad, 6 to 10. Or Bad Batch, my bad. Bad Batch, guys, Bad Batch. Bad Batch versus SYG Team 2. Live on the horn, we'll watch SYG 2 come off the break. What's up, Seb? Looks like SYG came out with a 3-2. Nope, matter of fact, it's a 2-3. And Bad Batch came out with a 3-2. 3 defensive backs, 2 in the front. And then we switched it up, 3-2, 3 in the front, 2 in the back. Communication is key. You got your back player teaming up with your snake player. He's coming for that slam dunk. He's coming for that slam dunk. And he got him. Okay, rest of the team backing him up. DJ with the slammer. Oh my God. That was so cute, Lyndon. Oh,
guys. Everybody, spam Lyndon Lefty's page. Happy birthday. It's Lefty's birthday. Make sure you guys spam. Don't forget to, after you guys are done watching, or you can do it at the same time. Multitasking is what we call that. All right, so second round, we're gonna watch Bad Batch break off the wall.
Hey, can one of you guys down there?
Bro, I started sweating, dog. Look at my forehead. Is that why you have that on your forehead? I thought you got an eye thing. Like, I was like, what's wrong with your eye? Look at Marty, guys. It's hot out here. Yeah.
All right, fellas, it's going to be round 2 of Legacy versus...
All right, we're watching Bad Batch off the break.
Versus SYG2. Game is live on the horn.
Let's see what they come out with. What formation? Okay, it looks like they're it's a front 3, back 2 in a single column. And then they lose one off the bat. You see their setup? Let's see if you guys can figure out what formation they're in. You see the formation? We have Ben jigging down the middle at the X. We have Fab fingering the trigger. We got Chef cooking it up. He's whipping it up. Who is that over there? DJ with that knee slide. Fab coming in. Look at the commentary. They're coming in hot. Oh my God. Woo! Yo. Hoopsmixtape.com.
All right, SYG2 takes round 2.
And SYG takes round 2 right there.
Clips versus
All right.
Captive.
Back on the camera. Yours truly. Slappo. Bro, I'm sweating, dog.
It's fucking hot up here.
I was only one fucking match.
Dude, look at my forehead. It's like I got hit with a water balloon.
All right, it's going to be Eclipse versus Captive.
The imagery is just like... like, what? Where'd that balloon come from?
Yeah. It started getting into my eye and everything. You like my basketball terminology? I came out with the formations. They're in a 3-2 stack, 2-3 stack. They're setting a screen. Look at that roll off. Look at that roll off.
All right. It's going to be Eclipse versus Captive, round 1. Game is live on the horn.
Who's that dressed on? Is that Jaden? Wait. Who's that dressed on Milsim today?
I don't know who that is.
Who's the mysterious Milsim man on Captive?
Yo, hashtag, who is the mysterious Milsim man on Captive? No, you're out. Yeah, I got a couple of those. Oh, and he stays in? He's confused. Yeah, Daniel.
All right, we have a penalty, no ball on Eclipse, colors white.
No. Oh, you did? I mean, see, that fucked it up. The refs called. That fucked that up.
Why did I just picture Drake right now?
Okay.
All right, so we have...
Who's the mysterious?
Hashtag, wait, there's someone
Who is
coming?
that?
Round 1.
Hashtag, who is the mysterious Milsim captive player?
And we're gonna go on to round 2 now.
I thought that was a chalice he was passing over. So bad.
All right, players, we're gonna go to round 2 of Eclipse versus Captive. Game is live on the horn.
Who is the mysterious Milsim man?
Call sign Captive.
Woo! With a little push off?
You see him push off the
Yeah.
that was sick.
What the?
God
We have
damn.
penalties and no call. Captive local. So Eclipse takes round 2 and it's set.
All right, it's 154. That's the end of round 4. You really want to start round 5?
All right, guys, that's the end of SpeedQB for today. Thank you very much for coming out. Go ahead and collect all your belongings if you need to.
For those of you who are still with us, thank you for tuning in to the August SpeedQB 2019 event number 2. It's my pleasure hosting this live stream along with Demo, Rooster, and some of the guys up here with me.
Perspirating.
This live stream will be available for viewing on the SpeedQB official YouTube account. So if you guys didn't get a chance to watch the earlier games, just make sure you tune in later. And the entire, I think 4 to 5 hours of gameplay will be up there for you guys to view. Looking forward to next month's event. Thank you guys for tuning in. Till next time, this is Sapo signing off. Peace, guys. Look how fucking sweaty I am, dude. Look at this shit.
Doug, look at me. Hold on, man. Look at me. I got hit with a water balloon. Look at Roy. It was like, where did that balloon come from? Where did that balloon?
Peace, guys.